Just 2 years ago, I was extremely upset with my life. I was working in a mega corporation, passing days mostly with ghosts. These are people who had grown to a local maximum in their niche. They stayed, and either out of fear or out of blindness, they felt they had nowhere else to go, and so they grew upset. Maybe it's because I grew up in a desert. It's harder for life to prosper there. Oases are rare and they dry up very quickly. I think that's why so many technology companies start here. Life can't survive or has a hard time doing it, but machines can. There is very little life to get in the way of the machines, so they prosper and grow. I graduated school in 2022 and found myself working at one of these technology companies. I was probably the youngest person there by at least 20 years. This wasn't a trendy, new age technology company with mindfulness classes and diversity quotas. This place was a proper, boots on the floor, old warship. My dad helped me get the job. He knew there were some entry-level positions opening up, so he got me in contact and I secured an interview. They liked me enough and hired me, but I didn't really know what I was getting into. We worked in the same area, maintaining and repairing robots that make semiconductors. Semiconductors are the little chips that are in every single electronic product you own. Everything from a silly singing birthday card to the automatic brakes in a Tesla car. Manufacturing semiconductors is such a precise operation that the area we worked in was cleaner than a surgical operating room. You had to wear special boots and a full suit to even begin working. I still use the same boots that they gave me today. They have a nice steel toe, and they won't shock me on the floor. My dad worked there for nearly 9 years. I worked there for a little more than one. The site where we worked produced an estimated 15% of the world's microchips. With those odds, there's a non-zero chance that something in your direct vicinity has at least indirectly been manifest by me, or more likely by my dad. Maybe your car, your watch, your thermometer, computer, calculator, fridge, anything. The factory is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It doesn't stop. It's going right now as we speak. A coworker there once told me, "You know, Adrian, when Sunday comes around, I start getting really depressed." I replied and told him, "You know, you're an intelligent guy. You could probably figure out something else to do if you wanted. You don't have to stay here forever, you know." He paused and replied to me, "Nah, man, I only got 10 more years to go, then I'll retire." That's 10 years, that's 120 months, 520 weeks, 3,650 days, 87,360 hours. That's 10 years. That's a long, long time. Maybe you've heard of the 10,000 hour rule. It was popularized by a Malcolm Gladwell book called Outliers that states that world-class performers in many fields have practiced their craft for 10,000 hours. It dispels legends about talents and more emphasizes practice. That works out. Those 10,000 hours work out to about 20 hours a week for 10 years. So what about 10 years at 40 hours a week? You're doubling the practice of top performers. And what happens when your chosen field is professional suffering? Your profession, meaning where your income, your livelihood, your money amounts mostly to suffering, professional suffering for 10 years. What then? You're a world-class sufferer. You're a worldwide, world-breaking, top dog sufferer. This is not a sweeping anti-work video. This is an anti-toil video. This is a pro-work video. You need to design your own projects and your own method of doing things. Even if some aspect of your life is capped, you need to create new boundaries for yourself to grow into. If you don't know what to do, you first have to figure it out. And coffee will help. Much satisfaction in your life will not come from wild vacations or dreamy states, but simply improving the little routine things you have to do in your life. Your sleep, your clothing, your wallet, your shoes, and your coffee. I am a person who grinds. I am not a person who aimlessly suffers and toils. As I was waking up and getting ready to leave, my dad would be getting home from work. He'd sometimes make me a little coffee so I didn't fall asleep at the wheel on the way over. He'd sometimes help me pack a lunch for the day. I think the reason I stayed for so long was because it helped me connect with him. We knew more of the same people, we learned more of the same niche industry humor, we knew the specific problems and idiots we both worked with. He told me, "I'm glad you saw it. There's been many times where I wanted to show someone something that's back there in the factory, but it's just impossible to explain."